All right, Kevin back with you for another episode of the $1 Million Relationships Podcast. And today I'm here with John Burdett. John, welcome. So awesome to have you on the show, man.
Thanks, Kevin, so much for having me. I'm very honored.
Yeah, I'll tell you, and I got to give a shout out to Jessica and the folks over at the Podcast Guest platform. I am so thankful and grateful for, and specifically Jessica. I mean, since I have been doing this podcast, Jessica now reaches out to me regularly and is like, Kevin, I think you should take a look at so and so because I think they would be an amazing guest for your podcast. And that's how you and I met. And I'm like, so Jessica, thank you so much because you like never steer me wrong, and I really appreciate it. And so what we'll do to start, John, is I just want to turn it over to you so that we can set a little bit of context and let our listeners, our listeners, our CEOs, entrepreneurs, founders, just kind of give them an idea of who you are and what you're all about. So maybe we start by just talking about what you do, who you serve, what inspires you most about the work you do through your company, and we'll just start there.
Yeah, thanks again for having me. And
Yeah.
I'm very, very passionate about building businesses the right way and enjoying the journey along the way, and also not missing out on all the important things in life that come along the journey of building a business. So I've had the opportunity to help build multiple businesses over my career. I like to tell people I've made every mistake possible, both on the life side and the business building side. And so I'm just very passionate about helping people learn from my mistakes, not make the same mistakes I've made, and just really enjoy the journey. Because building and scaling a business is one of the most enjoyable, fun, exciting things you can ever do, but it's probably going to be one of the most difficult things. And I want people to enjoy that journey. So that my current company is called Fast Slow Motion. We're a little bit over 10 years old now. And our mission, when I started the company, our mission today is to be a blessing to business leaders as they grow and scale their business. And so that's what we do. We come alongside them and implement CRM platforms to put good systems and processes in place. And then we do all the tech work to make that happen so that you can focus on growing and scaling your business, and not all the internal processes that sometimes can either bog you down or prohibit you from growing.
Yeah. Wow. So you guys have been doing this for 10 years now. So give me an example. Well, first of all, so let me ask, maybe this will come out if I ask the question this way. What inspires you most about the work that you get to do and the impact that you get to make through your business?
Yeah, it's really helping other people. It's lonely at the top. It's lonely as a
Yeah.
CEO. It's lonely as a business founder. Oftentimes, your spouse, your kids, your friends, even your employees and teammates, they really can't relate to you,
Mhm.
because with that awesome responsibility comes a lot of awesome and heavy burdens. And the more successful you get, those don't really go away. There's just more mouths that you're responsible for, more
Yeah.
clients that you're responsible for, and things like that. So I wake up every morning excited about the fact that I feel a lot of people are lonely, trapped. They built a prison instead of a business that they love, and helping them understand there is a better way, and they can get their life back. They can have meaningful relationships outside of work. They can do impactful work for their customers. They can build great businesses that take care of their employees and their employees' families, and they can make great money. And because if a business doesn't make money, it's not going to be a business for very long. And
That's
so you
right.
got to make sure you're also profitable and you're excellent in everything you do. So I get out of bed every morning, and I'm ready to help people. And we've gotten to help over 1,000 clients so far, and I can't
Wow.
wait for that number to be 100,000 clients. And
Wow. That's
yeah, so
awesome.
that's my motivation, and that's really the heart of our company and the heart of our people, to really help people enjoy the journey.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you look at all the clients you've served, I'm sure you come up with a number of examples, but
Mhm,
what's and you don't have to reveal identity or anything,
mhm.
but what's uh, a result that you guys have helped one of your clients get that you're just like most proud
Yeah. We have a cool quote from one of our clients that actually has been with us a really, really long time. Um, and he basically says, this may sound weird or touchy feely or whatever, but is like Faso Motion has helped me become a better father, a better husband, a better boss, a better leader. And what he means by that is by putting good systems and processes in place, implementing all those technology platforms, he's been able to work on the business. He's been able to spend times with his kids as they were growing up. And he's been able to hire great people that are doing things way better than he ever could, and he gets the blessing of seeing that while running a very successful business. And so that may sound idealistic, that may, but that's really the what we're after. We want people to get their lives back and
yeah,
enjoy
yeah,
what they're doing. Work is not a bad thing, work is a good thing. And so it's not about working less, it's about working on what you love to do and where you can make, you have the greatest multiplier of impact, and you're able to build these great relationships that we're going to talk about and stuff like that. And so he summarizes it probably pretty well. And so we've got a lot of those kind of stories where we're able to really help and impact the business, and that business really thrives. But more importantly, we make a real impact in the lives of those people that we're serving and helping, and that's where the real joy and the real blessing comes from.
yeah. Wow. And I'll tell you, I am a husband. I'm a father. We've got 7 kids, ranging from our oldest is 34 down to our youngest who is 13. And so I know for me personally, you know, what you just talked about is something that I've been experiencing for a number of years. That I get to be the kind of husband and father that I want to be, and my business supports me in doing that. And so because I have that piece of it, I also get to be the kind of entrepreneur I want to be and impact lives there in the way. And like
Right.
and the people that I serve, they're getting me at my best because the other package is taken care of too and stuff, which is
Yeah.
and that makes all the difference in the world. That
Oh,
makes
yeah,
all the difference
100%.
in the world.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
we like to talk about, like, you obviously there's only 24 hours in a day, and you got to say, no to the wrong things so you can say yes to the right things. But more importantly, as you're building your business, you've got to really focus on these good systems and processes and tools to automate things and build workflows and to reduce your onboarding time and to grow and scale the people, um, because it buys you more time in the future. It
yeah,
allows you that thinking time. I mean, as a CEO and leader, or you need to be spending a lot of your time thinking,
yeah,
not reacting. You want to drive your business looking through the windshield, not the rearview mirror. You want to be proactive, not reactive, and you want to be intentional, not only of how you build your business, but also how you make sure you don't neglect your family, your relationships, all the
yeah,
other important things of life, because there's so many people that have been super successful at business, but their family life and their relationships have been a disaster, and they end up becoming really, really miserable people. But on paper, they're uber rich, they're super successful, and everybody wants to be them. But deep down, they focus their score. They won at the wrong game.
yeah,
Their score, they won the wrong scoreboard.
yeah.
And so my message to people is, you can have both. You can be super
Right.
successful in business, make a lot of money, make a big impact, but also have those other things in life. And that's what we really try to do. We do all that boring stuff to achieve that result, which is systems, processes, consistencies, disciplines,
Yeah.
reports, dashboards, data capture, all that kind of stuff. But that enables you to be able to work on your business instead of working in your business.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting the visceral reaction or feeling I got when you started just listing that. I'm like, oh,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and most people have that. I'm a weirdo. I like that kind of stuff. But and I get that, and I've accepted it, and that's I guess why I'm good at what we're good at what we do because we enjoy those kinds of things. And that's why we add value to our clients. You're
yeah,
really good at the things that make your business very valuable. But if you're not doing those disciplines and if you're not doing those core things,
yeah,
you will hit a ceiling.
that's right.
You will not be able to make the size of impact that you want to make.
Yeah,
And so just like you have accountants, just like you have, lawyers, just so you have all these other people because you don't need to be a lawyer and you don't need to be an accountant. You don't have to be an ops and a tech expert
yeah,
unless that's the core competency in your business. Most businesses aren't, but you got to leverage those.
yeah,
And that's why, a company like ours, let us handle that for you.
yeah,
Let us, I mean, we bring multiple brains, multiple eyeballs, hundreds of years of experience total to the table so that you don't have to worry about those things and you can focus on being you and what is your multiplier effect and not
yeah.
all the things that bore you to death, but are
I
mission critical to your business.
Amen. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that. I mean, I think about even doing this podcast. We've 2.5 years in, 220 episodes released,
Wow.
and if I would have had to do the tech stuff around all of that, I would have probably given up a long time ago. But
Yeah.
because all I have to do is come get on this Zoom call with you and hit the record button and
Yeah.
and end it when we're done, we're good, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just when you get to that level and you start thinking from those systems and processes and stuff, there's just so much freedom that comes with that. It's just like a huge load taken
Yeah,
off of you as a business leader, as an entrepreneur, as somebody wanting to do something and grow something. Because yeah, there's a million things in business I don't enjoy and I'm not very good at, and thank God I don't have to do.
yeah, yeah.
Because I can rely on people who know how to do those things, and it enables us to focus on what we're good at.
That's right. That's right. Well, that was awesome. So now that we've got some context set here, I'm going to reiterate the question for the around relationships for the benefit of our listeners here. So John, have you ever been introduced to a person or persons who completely changed the course of your life or your business, so much so that much of what you have today would not be possible if not for this person or persons? And John, I'm just really excited to hear your story and your experience around this topic of
Yeah.
relationships.
Yeah, as I reflect back on that question we talked about earlier, there's definitely been a lot of people in my life that have influenced me, and I wouldn't be here without them. And I'll definitely just focus on the business aspect of that since this is a
Okay.
business podcast. But so I won't get back to my parents and my wife and kids and all that kind of stuff, which they're first and foremost, and I wouldn't be here without them for sure. But from a business perspective, my senior year in college, I got my undergrad's in computer science. So I came out of school as a software engineer, writing code and things of that nature. My One of my professors was an adjunct professor, and he had started a professional services firm to build. We would build large scale enterprise applications for Fortune 1000 companies. So
Okay.
back in those days, you built everything from scratch. You wrote code. There wasn't all these great platforms and tools and things that you can use today. And so I wasn't sure. I knew I wanted to do something in software. I didn't know if I wanted to go work for a big company, a small company. I was going to go back and go to graduate school. I was already accepted at Georgia Tech to go to graduate school. Anyway, he offered me a job, and his name was Steve Atkins, and he offered me a job. I was like employee 15,
Wow.
and we
Wow.
were building super cool systems for large companies. And that's where I met Larry Lilly and Sanjay Singh, who became my mentors. And they took over running the company, and they gave me way more opportunity than I deserved. They trusted me with way more responsibility than I deserved, and allowed me to make a bunch of mistakes while protecting me. I mean, I was having one-on-one conversations with CIOs at age 22 with some of the
Wow.
largest companies in the world, and definitely didn't belong in that office and things like that. And just learned a ton. So I got to experience that for about 6 years. And we built the company up from about 15 people to when I left was probably about 150 people. And to this day, like the way they did things, the way they treated me, the way the opportunity they gave me, the lessons I learned were foundational for maybe even be able to start a company like Fast on Motion. So those are a couple examples of my early years that were mission critical to forming me.
Yeah.
And that's how I got into entrepreneurship. That I mean, I fell in love building businesses because of that opportunity. And I had no clue that's what I was going to be good at the time. I just wanted to write code, right?
Yeah.
And what I really learned is I love building businesses.
And you know what an awesome position to be in a company where you get to have conversations regularly with these high level people in these companies, you know. And I mean,
Right.
I look at, my days. That's what my days are spent doing. Is I get to have conversations with these
Yeah.
really high level entrepreneurs, and it is so. I mean, just yesterday I had connected these two guys, and they were like, "Kev, we want you to join us when we connect on Zoom stuff." So basically, I was on the Zoom call with them for an hour, and all I did, it wasn't even on my Zoom; it was on one of their Zooms. And when the three of us got on there, I was like, "Well, Isaac meet Garrett, Garrett meet Isaac," and they took it over, and I just pretty much sat there and listened in the whole dang time. And it was so cool to watch what transpired in that
Yeah.
conversation and the business and the things that are going to come from that. And I mean, like, as you're telling that story, I'm just thinking, like, man, what a awesome position that you were put in. And I mean, because I kind of feel that same way sometimes, that I'm like, man, do I even deserve to be here right now?
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So, having somebody believe in you, invest in you, because early on you don't know anything.
Yeah, yeah,
That just, I mean, it gives you confidence to get out there. One thing I was thinking about as you were asking me that question, and one thing that I learned I came out of school like as an engineer kind of mindset, didn't have really any emotional intelligence. Not, I've definitely had to develop all those skills and stuff like that. But I remember back around just the way they treated people. A lot of times as business leaders, you can get really emotional and really upset with when people are leaving or people quit or people don't do the right thing, and you always need to take the high road, and you always but it's really hard a lot of times
yeah,
because your business is your baby and you want people to love your business as much as you do. But I just remember how they always treated me and gave me opportunities. And I remember the day I went in to quit, because I wanted to go do a product company, and so that was my next journey to help start and grow a product company. um, they supported me. They could have easily got, because I was part of one of the main leaders of the company, in line to probably lead the company at some point. And these were my friends and mentors. I loved but I just I was learning that I was a builder, and this business had gotten pretty big, and I wanted to go do it again. And
uh-huh,
instead of getting upset, instead of trying to talk me out of it, they supported me. And I mean, we ended up renting office space out of the building, and all these different things, and opened the doors, introduced me to more people, never stopped loving me and supporting me.
wow,
And looking back in a position where I am today, I mean, I do treat people that way because they treated me that way, they modeled it for me.
yeah,
But also know the pain and the heartache and the extra work they had to put in to replace me and to move me, all the things that, I created a lot of problems for them, and they
sure,
never put that on me.
yeah,
And, man, when you do that for people, you get tremendous blessing. And some of the people that no longer work at Fast So Motion, they're out. I mean, I'm most proud of them sometimes because I get to see the great things they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we got to play a little role in that to help them get there. So those relationships, those people, while they're can be your biggest challenges, they're also is where all your blessings are going to come from.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Well, I could ask some more questions, but I'm what feels right is I want to make sure, because you said there's a number of people that you want to honor, so I want to make sure and give you time to do that rather than me just asking questions. So
Yeah, maybe I'll just continue on the journey there, and because there are, I mean, there's a lot there, but Jeff Gale is one of my business partners and friends now, but I had met him doing that other job. He was actually working for one of my clients, and he had started a company, and we just met a little bit, and then a couple years had passed, and then another mutual friend, Mario Moore, who I think the world of as well, kind of reconnected us, and he was like, "Hey, I'm about to, you know, I'm married, but I don't have any kids yet, and this is my last chance to go do it. I'm going to quit my job and go do this full time. Do you want to join me?" And from my side, I was like, "This sounds awesome." On paper, it seems pretty stupid. I'm leaving a really great opportunity, making a lot of money and doing all those kinds of things. But anyway, he trusted me enough to bring me on as an equity partner. We started the business out of his house, and and grew that up. And so I got the opportunity to grow up a product company from there. And like I said, my friends at my other job at CTS, my mentors, they helped us. I mean, we rented office space from them. They introduced us to people, all that kind of stuff. So that was the next step of the journey. There was just that one relationship allowed me to really become a true entrepreneur, and kind of start something, not necessarily from the very beginning, which I have done since then, but just do it from the very early days and build it up from there.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
really interesting because there's this recurring theme that through each transition, people from the last spot helped you transition and move forward and stuff. Those relationships stayed intact and helped you keep moving forward and were supportive of you, even though you were no longer with them per se.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the other thing, of course, that stands out really, you're just a builder through and through, man. I mean, you if you're not building, you're just like, man, I'm missing out. This is what I love doing.
100%. Yeah, it took me about 10 years of my career to figure that out because I was like, man, there's something wrong with me
Something wrong with
because
me. I keep
yeah,
leaving good stuff behind.
that's right. Yeah. And I mean, I can't tell you how many friends have taken me out to lunch and was like, what are you doing? You know? And it's funny because my wife is, she obviously knows me really well. And I can't say enough great things about her. I won the lottery when I got her, but I would tell her, like, yeah, I think I'm gonna go start this thing over. And she's like, okay, yeah, whatever you want to do. I mean, that was the extent of the conversation, where I think most wives maybe or would have been like, what, what about our mortgage? What about,
Yeah,
all
yeah,
that kind of stuff. But she, just that trust that she has in me to, like, you've always taken care of us. You've always made wise decisions. What, let's do it. And I know I know you're going to get bored if you don't do it. And you're going to be miserable if you don't do it. So, but yeah, it took me all the way to Fast So Motion. Started Fast So Motion in January 2014 before that boredom problem went away. And I
okay,
believe the reason for that is I created Fast So Motion really out of my personal mission statement to help other people build and scale their business the right way. And so I'm more excited, more energized today than I've ever been. But I think it's because I'm doing my calling, I'm doing my
yeah,
purpose, I'm doing,
yeah,
yeah. And those other businesses that we created, I love the people, love most of the clients, but I wasn't really passionate about what we were doing per se. This, I mean, I would do it for free. And we found a way to build a business around it and we have about 120 full-time employees. So we got a lot of awesome people doing a lot of awesome work. and we're taking, able to take care of their families and make a difference and then impact all
Yeah.
those clients. So that transition to kind of, okay, I found out what I'm good at. How do I, can I create a business around that?
Yes. Yes.
Is it sustainable? So I do feel like I'm a very blessed man, a very, to be able to figure that out and then build a business model around it, because I really do hop out of bed every morning, can't wait to get to work kind of thing. And I know that's not normal, and I'm very gracious for that opportunity.
I'll tell you, man, what you're just sharing, John, that really lands with me. And for you, hearing you share all this, I can see it clear as day, because now not only are you building your business, but you are helping all the clients you serve build theirs.
Exactly.
And so you get to wake up every single day and build.
That's right.
And and that's your passion. That's what you
Yeah.
love doing. And I mean, and like, in my thing, I love facilitating relationships.
Yeah.
Relationships that will impact millions of people's lives. And I've been doing it for years. And you mentioned, I would totally do this for free. I did do it for free. It was just an extension of my other business, what I did, and that was
Yeah.
how I serve people. But then 12 years ago, these two guys went on to do such big things together, and I'm like, and they're still to this day doing amazing things. But 12 years ago, that's what I was like, wouldn't it be cool if you had a business where you got to do that all the time? And like you, it took me some while. I mean, it took some time for that seed to
Yeah.
germinate and
Yeah.
for it to just come into play, and the vision to, like, how can this become a reality? And today it is. And I'll tell you what, man, it's so incredibly rewarding. I love it. I'm a blessed guy being me, just like you,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I love that. I mean, and that's my kind of mission too, to business leaders and entrepreneurs, is you can build a business you love.
yeah, yeah,
So often we get trapped in this belief of we got to build something up to sell or exit and make a lot of money. And you can, but you can also build a business you love. And then if you have the option to sell it one day, that's great. But if you want to keep it, you get to keep it. And it makes good money and all those kinds of things. And so the joy is in the journey, not the destination. And I think a lot of times we get those things backwards. And if you focus on, creating joy and having joy in the journey, and you create something of excellence, you'll create something valuable.
yeah,
And most importantly, people are attracted to that.
yes,
Like, our people at Fast Motion are amazing. The biggest blessing I've experienced is not necessarily with our clients. That's been awesome. And that I've got some amazing stories to tell. But the real blessing is to see our team members fulfill our mission way better than I could, and
mm,
find joy in that journey. And I mean, that, you talk about impact, you're talking about, meaningful $1 million relationships.
yeah,
I wouldn't, I wouldn't trade that for any amount of money to get to do that kind of stuff. And so my desire now is continue to grow in the scale of the company, so these individuals get to experience what I've experienced
yeah,
and
yeah.
to participate in that joy, that as we, continue to grow and get better and bigger, serve more clients.
You bet, you bet.
Um,
Is there anybody else that you want to honor or talk about, or is that most of it? What? I just want to
yeah,
make sure.
yeah, I would be remiss, without honoring my team here at Fast Slow Motion.
Yeah,
So our leadership team, Matt Dyer came along with me very early on. He's our COO, and you talk about a blessing, and like, we would not be anywhere near where we are without him. Same thing applies to Jeff White, our chief delivery officer. He trusted me and came on board, and it was a big leap of faith. He left a very good job to come on board early on and help us grow this thing to the next level. And we often joke, and it's serious, but he's the quietest one of us all, but he's the wisest one of us all. So we all have to remind ourselves to shut up and let him talk, so that we don't do something stupid. And then Eric Hush is our chief growth officer. Eric and I were at the product company together. That's where we first met. So we've been business partners for a long time, and just his energy and ingenuity on both the marketing and sales side has been mission critical. And then finally, our chief technology officer, Chad Seals. He's the youngest one of us all, but I wish I had his wisdom at his age, and his passion and what he does and how he does things. And it's just so fun to watch. He adds so much value to our team. And then finally, Barry Thomason helped me start the company. He came on early on. He's been a mentor and friend of mine for 22, 23 years. We worked together way back at that first company that I talked about. He was doing
Okay.
sales.
Okay.
He taught me how to sell. And then we've always been both passionate about smaller growth businesses. So after I started Fast Slow Motion, I was like, "Hey Barry, you want to come help me sell a little bit? Just 1099 contract kind of stuff." And it worked out, and he came on board full time. So he really is responsible for kind of helping us build our sales culture and our sales team. And he is the OG in our organization around, there's Barryisms, and there's around our sales culture and how to do
That's
things. So
awesome.
I
That's
could keep going on, and I'm definitely leaving out a ton of people, but definitely want to honor those people
yeah.
at
Yeah.
Fascination.
I'll tell you, man, I just really appreciate all that you shared here today, John, because what a powerful testament to the power of right relationships.
100%. Yeah.
And of course that's what this podcast is all
Yeah.
about. And
Well, thank
you
you for
know,
highlighting that, because I think a lot of times people overlook that.
yeah,
And I think no matter what your business is, it's all relational. People are all that matter at the end of the day. And the sooner you figure that out in life, the better off you're going to be.
that's right.
So if you think you're going to do something without people and without relationships, uh, you're gonna end up on your deathbed a very lonely and
Yeah,
regretful person.
yeah,
But I promise you, you will not end up that way if you focus on people and relationships. And I've definitely done it the wrong way. And I'm a very much thank God he woke me up about 10 years into my career to say, "Hey, you may have some success, but you're doing it the wrong way, and you're
uh,
not going to be fulfilled by it." So I really appreciate what you do and highlighting people and relationships, because um, it it is the currency of business and
oh, it
and
is,
success
it
and
is.
fulfillment. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, man, relationships is the most, I mean, that's been my experience. The most valuable
Mhm.
currency is the relationships. And
Yeah.
you have right relationships and things just flow. Things happen quickly, easily, because there's that trust in character and trust in competence. And when
Mhm.
both those trusts are in place, you know, business just comes easy. The business
Yeah.
is easy. Relationships first, then business just comes easy.
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah. When you have that trust, you can have hard conversations, direct
Yeah.
conversations, and
Yeah.
the relationship isn't at stake. You're focusing on solving the problem, and you may not agree, and honestly, you don't want to have a bunch of people that you agree with
That's right.
on your team, but you want to have trust, you want to have the same values, and when you do that, beautiful things can happen. And because building a business is extremely hard, and there's no reason you shouldn't do that with people that you love and care about and trust, so that you can have those hard conversations, because you need to have those hard conversations,
Yeah.
because you have to make hard decisions, and you need wise counsel.
Absolutely. Well, John, for anybody that's listening to this, going, man, Kev, I really like John. I love the way he shows up, and there's probably some of them who are thinking like, man, maybe I could use his help. So how can they find out more? Any websites, any resources that we can share with them?
Yeah, please check us out on the internet at fastslowmotion.com.
Okay.
All of our social properties are listed there. We're all on all the most major social platforms. We actually have our own podcast, the Fast Slow Motion podcast, where we talk about some of these things, about how do you build a business that you love and enjoy and do it the right
Okay.
way. and kind of get into the weeds of some of that. So if you're interested in learning more, check out our podcast. You can go to fastlowmotion.com/podcast and check that out. And then you can hit me up on LinkedIn or whatever. If your business is interested in some of the things I talked about, we'd love to talk to you. We just want to help. We just want to have those conversations. We may or may not be able to help you, but we would love to just have that opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, John, any last thing you feel led to share before we call it a wrap?
No, just thank you for this opportunity and for what you do. It's greatly needed out there, and hopefully we help one or two people.
Absolutely. Well, John, thanks again. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate you. Excited to get this out there.
Thank you.